guys, it's Dev Horn, CEO of Ether Mining Company here again with another topic. And today's topic is, it's August 2018. What the heck's going on with the price of Ethereum? You guys have seen it crash. I mean, I think there was one day this week it was down 17-20% in a day. Crashed down to almost the 250 level. This is the winter for the Ethereum right now, which was $1,200 in January and is down to under $300 here in August of 2018. Why is this happening? What's going on? Well, there's two things that are going on. The SEC has been slow, or other government organizations such as the SEC, they've been slow to approve things like cryptocurrency ETFs. And so the investment community that buys stocks and bonds, that has some interest in cryptocurrency, it hasn't really been productized in a way that they can buy it. And so a lot of investors are not going to go through today's methods of the coin market, the Coinbase, and all the ways, the kind of kludgy ways that we buy and trade these coins. The investment community is not going to play in that world. They want to play in their world, which really means these cryptocurrency products have to be turned into legitimate financial instruments. And that's been kind of the problem, is it's been slow to happen. And so there's a flood of money that could come into the market, but it really needs to come into the market through the productization of these things into legitimate financial instruments. So that's part of the problem. The second part of the problem is that we recently had this enormous dump of Ethereum. You think about if you look at CoinMarketCap and you see, there's the top 20 coins, you've probably heard of them, and there's like over 1,000 of them you've never heard of. And these coins most of them, 99% of them will never be relevant. Most of them did their ICO with an ERC20 contract on Ethereum. So what they did is they sold their whatever coin, DentaCoin or whatever, and the community gave them Ether. So all these projects were funded by Ether. People took their dollars, bought Ether on Coinbase, and then they invested that Ether in this whatever coin, and they got the whatever coin, and they gave their Ether to the people who gave them the junk coin, right? And so what has happened recently is there was a panic in the community of all these junk coins that Ether was losing its value, and these guys were holding a lot of Ether. Now at the top of this was EOS. EOS not a junk coin, of course, but EOS had funded its project by selling Ether. So in an odd way, the EOS guys were very, very dependent upon Ethereum holding its value until they could somehow convert that Ethereum to something else, the new EOS coin or Bitcoin or whatever that is not Ethereum. So in an odd way, the EOS guys ended up one of the largest holders of Ethereum in the world. They had a lot of it, and all these other projects down the list were all holding a lot of Ether. And so they began to panic and think, wow, I saw one project that had raised $30 million in their ICO, and that $30 million here in August of 2018 was now valued at $7 million, and they went and dumped that on the market to try to at least get something. So if you have an investment that's worth $30 million, and it's declined to where it's worth $7 million, and you're thinking it might go to zero, then you dump that investment and get the $7 million while you can, kind of thing. Well, what that did is it put an enormous selling pressure, a ton of Ether being offered and not a lot of buyers. You have too many sellers of an asset, not enough buyers, the value of that asset plummets in a marketplace. And that's what's happened with Ethereum. So there's nothing really about the Ether itself. Like I said, there's no weakness in their strategy. Everything's going well. I think the Ethereum project is moving along towards proof of stake and towards really scalability and things that it will need in the future. So I'm very high on Ethereum as a project. I've never really been super high on cryptocurrencies in general because I think they are somewhat interchangeable and hard to differentiate. But Ethereum's one of the ones that's here to stay. Ether is the #2 cryptocurrency in the world. It remains in that position. And even though all cryptocurrencies have come down in value, Ether still retains that #2 position. I do think the floor on Ether right now is at around 240 to 246. That would be a level from last September. If it breaks that 240 line, then I would avoid it, and think that it's probably going lower. If this week it bounced off the 250 line, headed back up. I think it's at 290 right now. I think 250 is the floor for Ether right now. If you can get it around that price, I would buy it. I would even buy it up to 300. But if it goes below 250, I would probably avoid it and wait to see how things shake out. That's what I think is going on with Ethereum and with Ether. I hope this was a helpful update. I look forward to speaking with you more about these topics. Thanks. This was Deb Horn, CEO, Ether Mining Company.